All right, good afternoon. Just about 2 o'clock here. First Alert Meteorologist Justin Bradford breaking down a lot going on in our First Alert forecast. Had a really great weekend. First back-to-back days with afternoons in the 50s for us since before Thanksgiving, that week leading up. So that was really nice to have. The sunshine certainly helped us do that as well. But we really have kind of overperformed with temperatures the past couple of days. And no exception on this President's Day Monday. So the folks who don't have school, don't have work, you really get to enjoy the fruits of Mother Nature's labor, just providing us with a great afternoon. And we're going to take a peek at that First Alert forecast outside. But we wanted to kind of start taking a look at yesterday's highs. It was the second straight day we reached 50, but it was the lower 50s. Still, that puts us about 15 to 20 degrees above normal, depending on where you're at. And you can see just where we've gone across mid-Michigan today. Current temperatures have soared right back into those middle 50s in most places. The current warm spot around mid-Michigan is Howell at 57 degrees. And you can see most of us are enjoying numbers between about 52 and 55. And so pretty nice afternoon here. Our average high is about 34, so close to 20 degrees above normal out there this afternoon. Now we do have wind gusts around 25, at times close to 30 miles per hour, but they are out of the south-southwest. And you can see where they're pulling the warm air from. Temperatures in Chicago in the 60s and even close to 70 towards Kansas City. And so we're tapping into just a little bit of that. And you can see how we're staving off that cold air. Still, places like Buffalo, Pittsburgh got 40-degree temperatures, and it's still in the 30s up in Alpena, so they can't catch a break that direction. We've got them by 15 to 20 degrees when it comes into the high temperature department here today. We're going to take a peek here, First Alert to the next 12 hours. You can see we still got maybe a little uptick in our temperatures before the day is done. Our current model showing 4 p.m. temperature of 57 in the capital city, so we're remaining pretty mild even for the time of year. Clouds will start to slowly filter back in as we head into the overnight. Could have a little bit of late patchy fog too, so we're keeping eyes on that as well. And of course, as staying above freezing means that we don't need to worry about any freezing fog. That hasn't been a major concern for most folks over the past few days, but even to eliminate that risk is always a good thing. So we're going to take a peek here at satellite and radar. You can see we've had some breaks in the clouds today, and even the ones we see out there are thin enough that the sunlight has been managing to get through. Now, if we back out and take a wider view of the Great Lakes as a whole, there is a weak disturbance up north in the state today. Therein is why Alpena's got those cooler temperatures that are only in the 30s. They're seeing a little system move through and right passing over Lake Huron as we speak. Now out to the west, not much weather to be had, and that'll be the case for us over these next couple of days until we get to Tuesday night into Wednesday, which we'll peek at and give you a first alert about in this hour-by-hour forecast, where again you can see numbers today overperforming once again, maybe 57, 58 degrees. I'm not even going to rule out the chance that maybe somebody south in the state gets close to 60 today, but that remains to be seen. We're going to see what happens as we head into the overnight. Model tries to throw down a couple of weak showers. I think most of that forcing is just going to provide more fog than anything else, but if we manage to get a little sprinkle of rain somewhere in mid-Michigan tonight, it wouldn't be the most surprising thing ever. Now, heading into most of our Tuesday, we are going to keep clouds around, and something I want to note, you see model temperatures here at 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. This model has Lansing at about 39. I think we're going to add about 10 degrees to that, give or take, where you see those warmer numbers, Marshall, Jackson, Coldwater, that are closer to 50. I think that's going to be us, generally speaking, tomorrow afternoon, even in the Lansing area, and then maybe a little bit more of a cutoff getting north. But it all depends on the extent of the warm front, and that can vary greatly this time of year, and a little sunshine goes a long way. So if we keep clouds tomorrow, maybe we do stay a little cooler, but I'm counting on at least some sun peeking through. And if that happens, our sun angle in February is very similar to what it is in October. And so even while that's not that high in the sky, it is improving on where we've been most of winter. So I do expect us to warm up. Now here's where the change takes place, giving you a first alert to the arrival of these rain showers. It'll be late Tuesday evening and into the overnight, and you'll see those move through and then carry into our Wednesday. Now Wednesday morning, it's looking like we could have enough forcing for a few rumbles of thunder in some spots. Not expecting any severe weather or anything like that, but don't be surprised if you do hear a rumble or two go through the area on Wednesday morning with the rain showers as they pass through. Now, I think temperatures are really going to take off Wednesday afternoon. We break open some sunshine and still have that southwest wind. The numbers are already in the 40s to start the day. I can't rule out somebody or maybe several places getting to 60 on Wednesday. I've got the official high in Lansing at 58. But I would not be surprised to see us go even warmer than that in some spots. So that'll be something we keep an eye on as well. That then could end up being our warmest day so far in 2026 if that does manage to take place. But here's a closer look at what we are tracking in a wider view, at least a little more detail than what we'll expect for the end of the week, because here are those same Tuesday night into Wednesday rain showers covering the region. Now you do see there is some mix and even a bit of snow north in Michigan as we head into our Wednesday morning. That's not going to affect us by any stretch of the imagination. Yes, they're going to have temperatures near or maybe even below freezing in the Upper Peninsula, maybe even far northern lower. It won't be the case here. Like we mentioned, we're going to start the day in the 40s, and once we clear that out, we'll be back close to 60 or at least in the upper 50s on Wednesday afternoon. Now, as we head into our Thursday, it's another quiet day, more clouds, temperatures still near 50 degrees or just above it, but our next change after that comes into our late Thursday night, Friday morning. Now, this model, as you can see here, starts off that system as rain showers, and that's what I expect will happen. Highs Friday probably still close to 40 degrees, or at least in the upper 30s, so it's a cold rain and a bit of a sharp change from the mild pattern that we've seen here. And look what happens on the back side of that system. Some snowflakes work back into mid-Michigan, and I think a lot of us probably see that by late Friday. Now, this doesn't mean necessarily that we will see accumulation, and we are still close to 4 days out from that taking place anyway. So we'll want to have you check back with us for a first alert update to that. But as we march towards the weekend, I think the real story will be the cooler temperatures that settle in. And you'll see that here pretty obviously in the high temperature trend. We've got those 50s the next couple of days, and after that 40 on Friday, 30s for the weekend. This time next week, we could be talking about temperatures that are staying in the 20s. And so when you compare it to today, we could be close to 30 degrees colder next Monday than we are on this Monday. But hey, such is February in mid-Michigan, and so we again are going to continue to keep an eye on that for you as well, so you have that first alert. Here's a look at the 10-day forecast, which again has those mild temperatures. I do think the rain Wednesday is early in the day, so keep the umbrella around early on. I think by late Wednesday that might end up being the best, if you like warm weather, the best forecast that we end up seeing, because once the rain does depart, we're back into sunshine Wednesday afternoon, and that could take off, and we could see some temperatures touch 60 degrees. After that, we're still decent on Thursday, and then the rain to mix happens Friday. After that, could keep a flake or flurry around for the weekend, but it wouldn't really impact us at this stage in any way. Now, one thing else to note, at the end of the 10-day here, you see 29 next Monday, but we do start to bounce back towards that final week of February as well, and back to around 43 on that following Wednesday. And so we are going to, I think, work back towards 40-degree temperature highs throughout next week as February comes to a close. And it's hard to believe that we're already right around the corner of entering March here in 2026. Of course, 1 week after that begins, we will spring forward with our clocks as well. And so that's another thing that we will keep an eye on moving forward here. So we got a whole lot more to talk about as far as diving into this forecast coming up. You can always catch us on our platforms here on News 10 Plus and streaming services online, social media. We've got you all covered there, and in the free First Alert Weather app on Google Play or in the Apple App Store. Now, First Alert Meteorologist Andy Provenzano will have more coming up in our 90 minutes of news starting first at 5. And so we got more on your forecast as well as all the latest news stories you won't want to miss. Thanks for watching us once again, and have a great rest of your Monday.